Welcome to the Thriving Solopreneur Show, where you learn the stories and systems that have turned hardworking, self-employed business owners like yourself into highly successful, leisurely entrepreneurs. This show is dedicated to those who went into business for themselves because they had an idea or suggestion that ignited their passions to do more, to do it better, and to solve a problem in our community. Whether your business started in a basement, a garage, or at a kitchen table, this episode will bring to you a system, a tip, or an entrepreneur that has been where you are and can guide you to living the fulfilling life you desire for yourself. Here's your host and serial solopreneur, Janine Bolon.
Hi, this is Janine Bolon with the Thriving Solopreneur, and today's guest is Beenie Mann. And Beenie and I have been friends for several years, and what's fun is that I got to be there right as she came up with this idea. And this idea is revolutionary in the sense of it's going to help hundreds and hundreds of people. We hope thousands at one point, but right now we're just focused on the hundreds. Many, many people are out there. They know they need help. They know they need guidance. How do you go about finding a coach? May I recommend that you talk to Beenie Mann about matters of perspective. Beenie, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me, Janine. I'm excited to be here and share my vision and my dream.
Your dream. I remember you were like, oh my gosh, this is so big. And you were almost hyperventilating a little bit. And you had a coach that calmed you down. And after the coach kind of calmed you down and was like, okay, you've got this. You really have got this. So describe a little bit about what got you started and what made you decide to then go after matters of perspective, because that was not your comfort zone.
Oh, no. Oh, no. That's like, at this point, I don't even know what is a comfort zone.
Right.
So.
You're so far estranged from your comfort zone.
It's like, what's a comfort zone? What's a box? Who knows? But the idea came to me really out of my personal need. So my husband is retired military now, but at the time we were active duty, two kids, single income, and there was always so much months left at the end of the money, and at one point I knew it's like, okay, I have this entrepreneur thing in me. I knew at some point I have my own company. I want to be my own boss. I was like, where do I start? And I got involved in network marketing, which is phenomenal for personal development. And that really opened up the door for me to understand the value of coaching and, I need a coach. I need to find me a coach. So I was looking, and the problem was the ones that had the name recognition were way out of our league. And the ones that I could have possibly afforded at that time, there was this risk involved, because I remember when I was in school, if I didn't like the teacher, I didn't pay attention. And even though I'm an adult now, I have to admit that has not changed.
Right. I know. It's like, I'm so sorry, but I can't take advice from you because I don't trust you. I remember there were certain teachers where I was like, I couldn't trust them. So the last thing I would do would take their advice.
Yeah. And that hasn't changed. And when I talk to friends and people about, matters of perspective, and I share that part about the teaching, they're like, oh my gosh, you're right. They agree. I would say about 98% of the people agree. So here I was. And then April 1st of 2018, I decided to liberate myself, and I walked away from the traditional. I was a mortgage loan officer. I was miserable. I was unsuccessful because it wasn't me. I wasn't true to me. So April 1st, 18, I walked away, and I was like, I'm going to do coaching. And so I was this new coach. So at first I was that client that didn't have the funds to take a chance. Now I'm the new coach, official new coach. And I'm sitting here going, where do I start? What do I do? How do I get that name recognition? So fast forward a little while, almost a year. And I was brainstorming for something. And that's when I was gifted the idea. And once I wrote that down and I looked at it, I sat there and I cried for about half an hour because I understood the magnitude of what that is. Later that year of 19, I hired myself a business coach. Well, he was phenomenal. And that was the first time I was actually able to afford a coach and do the coaching. And I felt so grown up. And I wasn't even going to share my idea with him. I was going to have him help me get my book out and get speaking engagements. But this little voice inside said, share your idea. And being me, I was like, fine.
Fine, I'll go do it. Stomp, stomp, stomp.
Right. So I shared it with him, and he smiles. He goes, this is amazing. When are you planning to launch? And mind you, this is like what, October, November of 2019, right? And very proudly, I proclaimed, for my birthday, end of July 2021. And he laughed and he said, that's not going to work for me. Of course, his attitude, he was like, oh, fine. And what will work for you for me to launch my business?
You got the head bob going on and
I was like, and he laughed and he said, January 2020, gulp. That's 3 months away. But guess what? I did.
You did
because
it.
Of the help of my coach, I cut 18 months off from launching my business.
Yep.
And that's the power of a coach.
That's what a coach can definitely do for you. So describe for the listeners who don't know, what is Matters of Perspective? What was this big idea that you sat and sobbed over for 30 minutes because you knew this was what you were supposed to do? So what is Matters of Perspective?
So in short, we're a coaching platform for, and we bridge the gap for the 95% of people, meaning for the people that want more in life, but don't know how to get there. And they feel that hiring a coach is too uncertain and it's way out of their reach financially. So what I created is a platform where clients come sign up with us for a coaching program. We can start monthly coaching programs. It's a group coaching, which gives you 2 hours, 2 1-hour calls, Zoom calls with our coaches. And you get the recordings and all that. And what I love about it is because we have several categories, and in each category we have several coaches. So with the group coaching, you don't just get the one coach that you work with, you get several. So you get different perspectives, which to me is like, oh, win, 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 win. I love that. And then we have, a 2-hour quick fix program. We have a 6-week program if you want to move forward faster, just to get that, hey, you know what, I need this. I know I'm almost there. We can go there. And then, of course, we have the 6 months program as well for people who want more and want to dive deeper. And
that was, to me, that was the most powerful thing, was the fact that it wasn't just a coach selling their services and expertise. It's like you have a whole cadre of coaches. You have run them through their paces. They have contributed money to be a part of this. It's not just a freebie for them at all. They have to sign on with this. And then you have vetted everyone very effectively through the process. So I absolutely love what you've done with Matters of Perspective. And I highly encourage people, if you've never had a coach or you're really nervous about it, please go to Matters of Perspective, because Beenie will make sure you spend the least amount of money and yet get the most value. So instead of test driving somebody who's charging you $20,000 and offers you all this stuff, maybe take it a little piecemeal if you still have income issues or cash flow issues. So talk to us a little bit about some of the coaches you have, not necessarily by name, but just the areas that you knew as a business owner. You were like, okay, if I'm going to have this cadre of coaches that I am going to dovetail and fit certain clients with, what were the areas you focused on?
Right. Again, that came from my own personal need through time, because when I first realized it's like, oh, I want to do a business, and it's in my head, I thought I needed a business coach. Well, what I learned over at the time is my mind wasn't right for that. So even if I would have started a business, it most likely would have failed because my mindset was not right. So I would have needed a mindset or life coach first to get me there. So we actually, we have life and mindset coaching. We have business coaching. We have, we just brought on a book coach. So if you want to write a book, we have a book coach. We have health and wellness. We have finance. And this is just the beginning. I mean, we're just in the beginning still, and we're growing and we're bringing people on. And we, per category, we have several coaches. So when the client comes on board and we match them with the coach that we feel is right for them, and for whatever reason, it doesn't work out on either side, the coach's side or the client side, the client is not out the money. We simply match them with another coach in that category.
Which is much better than what you and I have experienced, which is why I was like, you have got to come on my podcast, because you and I have both paid out tens of thousands of dollars for coaches and had just miserable experiences with that. Now, I will take personal responsibility for my stuff, right? And you and I both talked about that. We know what coaches were very valuable to us and which ones weren't. But there were times where we were really taken for a ride. And it was because the way the information was presented to us was not what we ended up receiving. It was almost a bait and switch. And one of the things that I love about what you're offering people is that you're like, look, if you feel you're in a bait and switch, then redefine for us what it is you think you need now, and we will make sure we get a coach for you, or you can be released from the program, but you still have to pay for what you've already used. But at the same time, and that's the thing, that money back guarantee that you offer for people to be happy with where they are. That's brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah, you did a very good job.
I have chills every time. It's like, because it just tickles me so much to be able to have this platform now, and the ability to help people really across the globe.
Exactly. Yes, because you weren't always. Yeah, I know. Squeak. It's so exciting. Squeak. Yeah, I wish you could see the face she has when she does that. So cute. So, but you weren't always in the United States, were you? I mean,
no, I was actually born and raised in Germany.
You're right. You were born and raised in Germany. And so it's like you have a world or global mindset. And so that's the thing that's delightful about having traveled the world, is the fact that you can reach out and help multiple different types of people. And one of the things I love about the United States is the fact that as long as we have entrepreneurs, as long as we have people building businesses, the country will remain strong. And that's why I have a vested interest in anybody that is building a business, and I want to know about it. So what else do you want to share with us about matters of perspective and how people can reach out to you, and how can they learn more without having to without having to put money on the barrelhead, as they say in the Midwest? What else can they do with you? Well, how can they get to know you better?
Well, the best way you can reach out to us, we're on social media. We're on Facebook. It's at Matters of Perspective. We're on Instagram at Matters of Perspective Original. I think it's the original. I just had to change that. But you can also go to the website, mattersofperspective.com, and you can book a free 30-minute call with me where we can talk. We can find out what it is you need. If you're in the place where you're ready to do this, you can ask questions and just get to know each other. And you can ask me questions. I'm an open book. I'm pretty straightforward and transparent. It's like, what you see is what you get.
Exactly. Because, we've all been where people were putting on the facade and you didn't realize there wasn't any information behind it. There wasn't a quality information. Yeah. So you won't get that from Beenie. I can attest to that. I've worked with her enough. So wonderful, wonderful stuff. Don't forget, she's also an author. So Happiness Matters is her book. If you're like, okay, yeah, this sounds too good to be true, and I've learned to not trust that, then read her book, Happiness Matters, and you'll really get an inside look to Beenie Mann and what makes her tick, and that she's as authentic as she knows how to be in each moment. And you are getting what you see is WYSIWYG. What you see is what you're getting. So I highly recommend you go out to Amazon and do that. So anything else you want to share with us before we take off for today, Beenie?
Be your authentic self. Be you. Follow your heart. Follow your dreams. What you think about, you bring about. And I'm living proof of that. That's all I can say.
And that really does say something. You have to read her book to understand truly what this woman has managed to accomplish despite some pretty awful background and trauma. But at the same time, all of us can identify with that. We've all had some sort of trauma. Otherwise, we would not be in business for ourselves, would we?
Absolutely true. 100% true. Yes.
Yeah. And so if you are a solopreneur and you want to thrive, I highly recommend you visit Beenie Mann at Matters of Perspective. Look at the Facebook pages if you want it, kind of, dance around the social media, but definitely go out and buy her book, Happiness Matters, and you will totally understand why she had to build this coaching business that she has. So thank you for being with us today, Beenie.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
And this is Janine Bolon with the Thriving Solopreneur. Keep your feet firmly on the ground as you reach for those stars.
Thank you for listening to the Thriving Solopreneur Show. We hope you found this episode helpful and uplifting. Be sure to visit us at janinebolon.com/podcast, where you'll find a library of videos, books, and podcast programs to guide you to the future you envision for yourself. We also ask that you visit our sponsor, the8gates.com, for the books and online courses that share with you the debt-free living lifestyle that allows business owners like yourself to flourish. Have a great day, and see you next time.